This video is what an American thinks about Romania. Romania, interesting place. I only didn't spend that much time in Romania. I was in like Brazov for like 3 or 4 or 5 days or something, and Bucharest for just an afternoon. Brazov, it was kind of an interesting living situation. I get off the train, and there's this lady there who's like, "Stay with my place." So I'm like, "Okay," and we go in there, and it's like a hotel. It's like a normal, regular like apartment that she's renting out, and then she makes some money just charging travelers to stay there, and she didn't even live there. It was just like some like 3-bedroom apartment she was renting out, and then she put like bunk beds in it, and she'd charge you, and then she'd leave, and she wasn't even there. So it was like she just left it up for the travelers to hang out in the kitchen, like a normal apartment. It was pretty cool, man. But anyways, Brazov was interesting because there are these 3 like abandoned buildings there, like apartment buildings, like huge 20-story high apartment buildings that were it was just the shell of them, the cement shell of them, because I guess Ceausescu in '89, their communist dictator or fascist dictator, got murdered, and that was his big project. So like, since he was his project and only his project that he got going on, they just left him there, and they'd just been abandoned for like 20 years. I guess he wanted to try to make all the peasants move into the cities, so he was building all these apartment buildings, and they were like, screw that, you're crazy. But I stayed in Brazov because that was supposed to be where the guy who they wrote the story about Count Dracula lived. It was some crazy like fiefdom dude who like was really brutal and like had like a war with his like neighbor fiefdom to the south, and he stuck like wooden pikes up the butts of like all the soldiers who he killed in battle, like hundreds of them, to like, and had them like sitting there to like scare off his opponents. We went there to see his like castle where he lived, and it was just like a house. It was like a normal house. It wasn't even that big. It was interesting. Not castle-y or anything. I can't remember when he lived though. Maybe 500 years ago or something. But I noticed that it seemed like poor. Romania definitely poorer than Hungary. I think Romania was communist back then. But wasn't Hungary too? But Romania was poor. But I mean, the town of Brazov was really pretty. It was surrounded by really woody hills. Lots of good woods there. And the train I took across through there was really pretty too. Or maybe that was the one to Hungary, down this valley next to a river. But it was really poor. Like, we took the bus out, and it was like peasants. You could tell the people out there who lived out in the boonies were just dressed in really basic clothes. Like almost looked like they were hand-me-downs or something. And the bus was really old, and it was really cheap, but people were friendly, happy. The downtown of Brazov was really pretty. There's like a pedestrian mall there, and I saw a movie, and the movie theater was really old. Like the TV, or I mean the chairs were like wooden, old wooden fold out. And the town of Bucharest was really looked like there was a lot of abandoned construction sites there too. That's where I saw like gypsies, or what looked like gypsies to me. It was like people really like getting in your face and bothering you, like, hey, give me money, or come to my hotel, and just following you, not leaving you alone. It's kind of annoying. And we saw these gypsies do this, or what looked like them do this, like some kind of weird kind of magic trick or something to get money or whatever on the subway, and like a woman and her 2 kids, and then they were like giving high-fiving each other after like, the money that they got on it from that trip, from that like stop. But they were like dressed, I guess how gypsies would dress, like in those like kind of like dead, Grateful Dead like dresses or whatever. But but I guess, I'd heard at the time they were like not treated so well. They're kind of like outcasts, so maybe that's why they had to live on the street, making money like that or something. I heard they were like originally from like India or something. But yeah, Romania is a pretty place. Lots of trees and hills and mellow people, really cheap.